What's up, everybody? Today I'm here to review The Walking Dead Season 3, Episode 1, titled Seed. Now, I will put analysis into this video, so let's go. Now, I want to talk about the Michonne cameo first that appeared in this episode. Now, we see Michonne as she kills these walkers in the store, and she takes some aspirin to Andrea, where they were staying at. And we see how Andrea has this fever. Now, it's revealed that they was able to survive over the winter. So I'm thinking about 7 to 8 months they was able to survive. And we see how Andrea is really sick. And I'm thinking of fever because she was talking nonsense, telling Andrea that I was the one basically I was the one basically that saved you during the winter. And we see how Michonne just looked at it like, are you crazy or are you just too fucking sick? And this take me back to The Walking Dead Season 2, because T-Dog was sick. Because remember when T-Dog cut his hand on that door, and T-Dog caught a fever from that. And T-Dog was telling Dale how he was concerned about being the only black male in the crew. Him and Dale need to get the RV, pack up and get the RV and just leave them. And then once T-Dog got better, T-Dog tells Dale that he never meant what he said. Basically, don't tell a group what I said. I didn't mean it. I was just talking. So I think that's where Andrea was coming from that, because she was sick and she was just talking. But now let me say this, because a lot of people have been asking this question: why Michonne keeps 2 walkers with her all the time? Like why do she got those 2 walkers chained up to her? Let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you an in-depth story on this. The name of those 2 walkers' name is Mike and Terry. Now, Mike was Michonne's boyfriend. Terry was Michonne's best friend. Now, they got bitten and turned. And so Michonne decided to use them. So she took her katana blade and she cut off the bottom of their mouth, or their bottom jaws, and she decapitated both of their arms so they couldn't touch her or bite her. And she chained them up to her arm. Now, Robert Kirkman stated that the reason why she keep these 2 with her because walkers don't attack walkers, or they don't attack their own kind. That's the reason why she keep these walkers with her. So yeah, I really want to give some more backstory to Michonne, but I don't want to make this review long. So let's go off into the main episode. I just want to talk about that cameo, because that cameo wasn't nothing for me just to bring up. While I was talking about the main episode, we see Rick them bust into his abandoned house, and we see Rick kill these 2 walkers, and we can see that they have silencers. And we also see Carl has a silencer too. His silencer look big as hell though. His gun look like it's made out of tin cans or something that ain't been painted. Yeah, he got a big ass silencer. And we see the whole group, and we see how everybody has changed. Even Carol is a good shooter now. Well, she's pretty good. Rick says she's pretty good. He didn't say she was the best, because she did almost hit Rick at one point. But I'm gonna get off into that later. And we see once they go in this house, because basically they savage, and they're going around savaging, trying to look for food, invading people's houses. And we see now that's the scene would get me. We see of course Carl get his kill, and he kills Walker, but we see Daryl looking at this at this howl. Daryl takes his bow and arrow, kill his howl, and then he eats it. Now, let me talk about this. It's facts that Daryl would do anything it takes to survive. He would eat damn near anything it takes to survive. Now, I'm not meaning that like Walker's in nothing. Like, perfect example, in Walking Dead Season 2, you seen Daryl cut open a squirrel. He ate a raw squirrel. He like cut it open with a knife, and he ate the insides or the organs of the squirrel. He ate it raw. He didn't even cook it. So that's how you know he's a true survivor if you do something like that. And we also see where he was picking the feathers off the howl, and he actually ate it. It was off screen though. And we see how Rick character and changed. And let me say this: Rick is on the verge of Rick is at his breaking point. I'm sorry, you can tell, and you a perfect example how I can tell you how I know he's at his breaking point. Because when Carl got that dog food and he opened it up, Rick looked at Carl, picked that dog food up, and threw it against the wall. And that's something Rick normally wouldn't do. Like, Rick literally chunked the food. He didn't even say nothing. He just chunked it. And everybody was looking at Carl while he was open. That's how you know that That's how you know they've been scavenger hunting a lot, cause they ain't really had nothing to eat. And like I say, Lori has came a long way, man. Like she's pregnant. Like I said, it's probably 7 to 8 months later. And so we see how eventually walkers come, so they have to leave the house, so they hurry up and escape the house. Now let me say this: is that the same car that Shane had rigged in season 2? It got to be, because I seen that was the same car in the season 2 finale, but I know it ran out of gas in the season 2 finale. But that have to be the same car that Shane had rigged in season 2, because he said he was gonna lead a group. He wanted to lead a group, so he rigged that car to leave them. But they got to be the same car. The only vehicle that changed was the other two. So we have 2 new trucks. Now we also got the same vehicle Shane had, and we got Daryl with his Harvey Davis motorcycle. If I said that right, correct me if I said that wrong. Now we see them talking about where to go next, and Rick said we're gonna head west because of course south. Oh my Jesus, man, south is where Atlanta at. I'm pretty sure that it had walkers everywhere in the city. You got south. He said north, and he said east, but they didn't go those places because they already said south was gone, of course. So they decided to go west. But Rick and Daryl decided to go hunting. Well, at least Daryl do, because Daryl say that basically that bird ain't do shit for him, or that owl or that howl ain't do shit for him. So he said let's go hunting. So they find a prison. And I find it's funny though. Once they find that prison, we can see kind of in Rick's eyes that he kind of see hope now. I'm not saying he smiled. He didn't smile at all. But once they find that prison, they go take it over. I find it funny how everybody was getting a perfect shot. Jesus Christ, I mean, everybody got a perfect shot. Except Carol, because she did miss and almost hit Rick while he was in the prison yard. And let me say this: Rick has really taken on this role as a leader, and I think he's doing pretty good, because didn't nobody want to go in that prison yard. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's too many walkers in that prison yard." But Rick took it within himself to go in that prison yard and fight those walkers, while he had them distract the walkers at the fence. You know, we see Glen stabbing walkers through the head with the pipe. We see Maggie getting shots in. We even see Laura getting shots in. I'm not sure if they was hitting though, because I ain't really see Laura hit nothing. We even see Beth, and of course we see Carr. Now, what happened to Herschel's Infinity shotgun? We need Herschel's Infinity shotgun. I ain't seen that thing yet. I hope you see it. Nah, I don't think we're gonna see it. So we see Rick take over the prison yard, and we see how he's able to wipe out a few of them, because he did tell Carol to basically you can't waste bullets. You cannot. Not even one. And you tell her that you're a pretty good shot, so we know so we know within those months that everybody was trained how to shoot right. And we see how they take the walkers out. We see how they get on top of the watchtower, or the prison watchtowers, and take out the prison with sniper rifles, which was pretty good. But at nighttime had hit. And this one really got me. We hear Carol talking to Daryl, and I always find it funny, because I always find myself not liking Carol, because she always tends to question Rick's leadership in terms of him keeping the group safe, and definitely within in terms of season 2 finale, she was telling Daryl that it's better for them to leave, because she stated to Daryl that I feel like I'm a she says she's a burden because she ain't have nobody. Sophia died and her husband died in season 1. Sophia died in season 2. So she said she felt like, she said she was a burden, and she calls Daryl Rick's henchman. That's what she called Daryl. She said you one of his henchmen. And basically Daryl asked her what you want, because she just kept talking, and then she said she want better. And Daryl asked her what you want, and she said I want better. Daryl asks her what you want, and then she say I want a man with honor. And Daryl say Rick does have honor. So that's how we know Rick and Daryl has came a long way, and they really good friends, because like Daryl literally respect Rick now, because he even tells Carol that he done right. He tells Carol that what he said is Rick has done right by me. Because when she was talking about Rick, telling Darren that that he need to leave Rick, And that's when Daryl tells him he have done right by me. So we know they progress that really came a long way. But beyond that, we see Carol and Daryl talking. We see Carol kind of flirting with him, but she does say this. She mentioned that if it wasn't for Rick, we would have never made it this far. And she states that Shane would have never got us this far, and which was facts. That was true. And like I say, after that we see them at the fire and stuff, and we see Beth singing that song was just terrible. Jesus, I ain't like the song, especially when she sung it. But I did like to see them because they had hope and they was smiling. That was a good thing. I like how they implemented that in there. But we see Rick and Lori talking, and we can see how Rick's mindset have really changed. Because I remember in season 2, Lori stated that sometimes she want Rick to not compromise with her, not compromise everything she do. She said Rick always tends to try to agree with her and try to agree with her to a certain level. He try to meet her at a certain level. Like he always try to be the hero. But she stated that in season 2. But Rick's mindset is totally different. Now he didn't even agree with her. She was like, we need to stay here tonight because the group is tired. And Rick was like, no, this is not a picnic. we have to go take out this. We got to go do this prison. So once they had their talk, we can see, because she tell Rick that we need to talk. We ain't been talking in months or something. We need to finally talk about this. And Rick tells her, no, go talk to Herschel about it. So to me, in my mind, I think Rick wonders who that baby really for, because I know Rick in the comic book wondered that. He mentioned to Daryl, no, to Dale. He always mentioned to Dale. He like Dale. Do you think he say, Dale, do you think I don't never think about whose baby that really for that Laura's carrying right now? So yes, that's on Rick's mind. And they're definitely playing a major role towards him in terms of him going to his breaking point too, because they did mention that Rick will lose his mind in this season 3. So we see them take over the prison. We see them take over the higher amount of the prison, meaning like where the Walkers came in with the riot gear on, and we see Maggie get some kills, and we see how Maggie get happy because he stabbed the Walker that had the riot gear on. She was able to penetrate through his chin. And we see Daryl try to shoot a Walker with a bow and arrow that had gear on. And that's what really made me it was kind of nasty, but then again, it was kind of excited. When that Walker with the oxygen mask came by, and Rick knocks it off, and then once the mask come off, his whole skin, like his whole flesh ripped out his face. That right there was kind of nasty, but it was kind of clean. That's how you know that their skin is really rotten, because that mask was the only thing keeping that skin on his face. And that once that mask came off, the whole face skin, or his face came off. You see nothing but scar and shit. And so we see Rick kill him. But now, let's just skip all the nitty gritty. We see Rick in his prison after they take it over. We see them in the prison, and we see Rick sit on his wall, and he's just thinking to himself. So yes, I'm gonna say this. That play, like, Rick has a lot on his mind. I don't know if that was a good thing. He was sitting on that wall and he was just thinking about how he was able to take over this prison. Because like I say, Rick does look at that prison for hope. Because even Herschel looks at the prison for hope. Because Herschel stated that he was going to plant some seeds and basically grow a garden at that prison. And of course, Daryl was not going to, because Daryl said he's not going to sleep in the cell, because Daryl is a country redneck, so he decided to sleep on the floor where everybody else sleep in the cell. We also see some dialogue between Carl and Beth, and it looked like they they're crushing on each other. They got a crush between them two, but Herschel breaks that up. Now, let's get off into the real thing. When Herschel gets bit. Now, a lot of people go off the reference talking about, oh, he got bit just like Dale did. What people don't bring up is Ali was the first person in the comic book series in the prison to get bit. It wasn't Dale. Ali got bit and died from blood loss. Dale got bitten and he survived in the prison. He got bit again, but shit, he died that time. But shit, Ali got bit in the fucking prison and he died from blood loss. Now, the difference is, between the Walkers that bit them two is, the one that bit Herschel had a whole fucking body. He had a full body, legs, everything. He was just laying on the wall, laid down. Now, the one that bit Ali the one that bit Ali didn't have a whole body. You can see his fucking testicles hanging out at the end of his body because he didn't have no legs and nothing. He was crawling on his hands and shit, and he was able to bite Ali on his leg the same way that Walker had bit Herschel in the comic book. Well, the same way that Walker had bit Herschel in the TV series, except Ali died from blood loss. Now they take Herschel in that room and they cut off Herschel's leg. Let me say this: if this was a bigger axe, because the axe that Rick used was a mini axe. It was a mini. It wasn't that big. It was a mini. But maybe if Rick would have had the same axe that he used in The Walking Dead season 1, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. The axe that he used to cut up that walker, and then they put out the testicles all up, the blood all on them, so the walkers couldn't smell them. Maybe if you would have used that axe that had a bigger blade, he could have like did one cut and cut off Herschel's leg, but he used the mini axe. And let me say this: the mini axe is really Rick's signature weapon in the comic book. We all know that Rick loved his mini axe in the comic book, but he really never got to use it in the TV series until now. He got to cut off Herschel's leg, which was a bad thing. And the axe, in the tip of the axe was so small, it took multiple cuts just to get Herschel's leg out. And now, let me go back to Ali. When Rick cuts off Ali's leg, he was kind of skeptical about doing it because he hurried up and did it because he didn't want the affection to spread. But this time, but then when they cut out Dale's leg in the comic book, they wrapped something up because they didn't want the same mistake to happen with Ali, because he cuts off Ali's foot and Ali dies. A couple of days later, Ali dies, and he kills him because eventually he will turn. Now, with Herschel, he tied a bit up around his leg and then he cuts off Herschel's leg. But this is the point. This is what I want to ask y'all. Let's just say if Herschel lived, if Herschel doesn't die from blood loss, will Herschel be a burden to that group? That's the question. If the governor comes and attack that prison like he did in the comic book, I don't see Herschel getting out of that. Because a lot of people saying, oh man, Herschel got to live because he got to help Laurie deliver her baby. He's the only person to know about that. And I see what you're saying. But let's say if Herschel does die from blood loss, from blood loss like Ali did, it's possible he can die from blood loss, and they might have to just kill him, literally kill him before he turns. But yeah, I definitely, if he does live, he's gonna be a burden to the group. I'm just saying, he's gonna be a burden. He's gonna be on canes. He's gonna be on something, just like Dale was in the comic book. Dale was a burden. Even Carl, a kid, and Carl know, after he lost Laurie, Carl's mindset completely changed. Carl tells Dale that you're a burden. You a burden to the group because Dale only had one leg. He was on like a little cane thing they made for him where he can walk on. So yeah, he's gonna be a burden, but I don't see Herschel living past the season. I'm sorry, I don't. Now, and for the prisons, we seen prisons. Now originally I thought it was going to be 4 prisons. We seen Axel, we seen Oscar, we seen damn, I can't remember the other 2. Moel, I can't remember his name. Start with an M. And we also seen I can't remember the prisoners' names, the other 2, but I know for a fact we seen Oscar and we seen Dexter. And Luke Temple don't really look like Axel to me. He doesn't. Axel had long gray hair and he was kind of fat, chubby. Nah, and they should have just kept Dexter's name as Dexter instead of changing it to Oscar. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I remember his name. Moel. And the other prisoner name is Harold. Harold and Moel, if I said the name right, yeah. So those 4 prisoners, but we seen more prisoners. I didn't expect to see the other prisoners, but I think one of them going to die because I did see Rick with a machete in his hand. So yeah, that was my overall discussion for the Walking Dead episode 1. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope this video ain't too long. Remember to subscribe, rate, and comment, and let's talk about this in the comment section down below, people. And peace.